In this video we will talk about everything that you need to know about the 3 major pricing strategies. This is chapter 10 of Principles of Marketing. We will review it. You will find out about the value-based pricing, cost-based pricing, competitor-based pricing, and also everything that you need to know about the minor strategies of these major ones. As you can imagine, pricing is very important. It is definitely the most important element of the marketing mix. It can also determine the volume of sales. It can also determine the volume of profit. It can also have an important role in the building of the brand reputation and brand image. Therefore, we need to study the major pricing strategies. So before talking about pricing in general and the strategies and mini strategies and how pricing can be applied as a marketing mix element, let's have some clear definitions of the most important terms. Pricing is the amount of money charged for a product or service, or the sum of the values that customers exchange for the benefits or having or using the product or service. Price is the only element in the marketing mix that produces revenue, and it is also the most flexible element of the mix. Price determines a firm's market share and profitability. One more important aspect that needs to be mentioned is that price plays a very important role in the perceived value of the customer. The customer perceives the value of the product through the price. The customer perceives the value of your brand, of your company, through the price. Because sometimes a high price may reflect a high value, but it is not always the case. So therefore, you need to be aware that it can also work against you. This is called the image of the company, and we talked about it at length here, about the image, position, reputation of the company and everything you need to know. You can also find the link down in the description below. So since we understood that price can determine the perceived value of the consumer about the value of the product, we can also imagine that the value of the product can reflect, well, the price of the product. So therefore, we understand that value is one important criteria that can build up the price. The other important criteria that can build up the price are the costs. This figure compares value-based pricing with cost-based pricing. It also shows a process for each strategy in order to have good pricing to start with the customer. In the following minutes, we will look at the value-based pricing strategy. Because in marketing, everything starts with the customer, the first step in the value-based pricing strategy is to assess the customer needs and value perception. The second step is to set the target price to match the customer perceived value, and the third price is to determine the cost that can be incurred, and finally designing the product to deliver desired value at the target price. In order to better understand it, you need to know how and why the value-based pricing strategy was first introduced. You all know about the Great Recession from 2008-2009, and you can imagine that since the people had less money, their perception and their perceived value of the products also changed. So people were not available anymore to spend the same amount of money as before because, well, they didn't have it anymore. So the value-based pricing strategy was developed back then in 2008 at the Great Recession because there was caused a fundamental shift in the perceived value and in the shift in attitude of the customers towards the prices, towards the money and towards the products they were buying. So therefore, most of the companies had to adapt their strategies and their prices to this new condition because they had to keep on selling, right, and keep on making profit. And they had to come up with products and prices that customers could afford. The good value pricing strategy. It means offering just the right combination of quality and good service at a fair price. Customer value-based pricing assesses the customer needs and value perceptions. It sets its target price based on customer perception of value. The targeted value and price drives decisions about what costs can be incurred and the resulting product design. As a result, pricing begins with analyzing customer needs and value perceptions, and the price is set to match the perceived value. When we talk about the good value pricing, there are 2 pricing strategies that you need to know about. They are the everyday low pricing and also the high-low pricing. In many cases, it involved companies to add less expensive versions of their brands. For example, we can look at T-Mobile, which added Go Smart Mobile, a prepaid wireless brand that offers a budget-conscious consumer low cost and with no contract plans with no hidden fees. Aldi is one of the best examples for practicing good value pricing at the retail level, called everyday low pricing. Everyday low pricing involves charging a constant everyday low price with few or no temporary price discounts. So basically, everyday low pricing means that there is a retailer that sells products that are cheap. So you don't necessarily have to expect discounts or to find products that have reductions, because they always will sell the products at a low price, and also it can reflect in the value of the product, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that the value of the product is low, because you need to consider that this is a pricing strategy that can be used mainly by large retailers, and that is because they buy in bulk. They buy huge quantities, therefore they buy for a lesser price than you would, so they can afford to sell at a cheap price and still make a profit from what it costs them and what it sells for. Walmart is the king of everyday low pricing, promising low prices on everything it sells. In contrast to this strategy, there is high-low pricing. Department stores such as Sears and Macy's practice high-low pricing by having lots of sales and bonuses for its members. High-low pricing involves charging higher prices on an everyday basis, but running frequent promotions to lower prices temporarily on selected items. These stores have frequent sales, early bird savings and bonuses earnings for store credit holders. By my understanding and having an at-hand example, we talk about Lidl. This is the perfect example because the store doesn't necessarily have high prices, but the prices are not cheap either, right? What makes Lidl different is having a lot of discounts. So if you're European, you know that every week there is a theme for this retailer, right? It can be the Mexican week, for example, where all the Mexican products or products with Mexican themes are on discounts or are on promotions. You buy two, you get free, or there is a 35% discount or so on. So basically, what you pay the entire price of is of course the higher price, but there are also a lot of discounts. Going on, another value-based pricing strategy is value-added pricing strategy. Value-added pricing is attaching the value-added features and services to differentiate a company's offer and charging higher pricing. Rather than cutting prices to match competitors, they attach value-added features and services to differentiate their offers and thus support their higher prices. So value-added pricing is about creating a better product. You add new improvements, new features to your product so you can justify a higher price. These are the strategies that you need to know about the value-based pricing and all the strategies that are used when you want to price or to set a price on a product based on its value. In the following minutes, we'll look at the cost-based pricing strategy. Because this marketing strategy is about the manufacturing costs of the product, this strategy starts with designing a good product. The second step is to determine product costs. After that, you set the price based on costs, and finally, convincing buyers of product's value. Cost-based pricing is setting prices based on the costs of the production, the distribution, and selling the product plus a fair rate of return for effort and risk. Because the cost-based pricing strategy goes around the costs of the company, we need to know the terminology and what the costs can be for such a company and such a product. A company's costs can take two forms: fixed and variable. The fixed costs are costs that do not vary with the production or sales level. For example, a companies pay rent, heat, interest and executive salaries regardless of the company's output. The variable costs are the costs that vary directly with the level of production. So, for example, a product may imply packaging, inputs, plastic and so on. The total costs are the sum of the fixed and variable costs for any given level of production. Considering that now you are aware of the fixed cost, of the total cost and of the variable cost that a company can think about, let's see the cost-based pricing strategies. The cost plus pricing strategy is one example that goes under the major category of cost-based pricing. Cost plus pricing is also known as the markup pricing. It means adding a standard markup to the cost of the product. For example, construction companies submit job bids by estimating the total project costs and adding a standard markup for a profit. Another example for these are the standard lawyers and accountants. It doesn't matter for them the value they work for, they know the cost of their job and they also add a profit on it. So for example, an accountant can work for a company that is worth $100 million. The cost for its work, it's the time, the fixed, the variable cost, and the profit it wants to make. Let's now see an example and learn how to calculate the cost plus pricing strategy. Let's calculate a fictive cost for a basketball. The company knows that there are variable costs of $10. They want to produce 50,000 balls to sell, which are the expected unit sales. And the fixed costs known by the company to produce the products is $300,000. Now we calculate the unit cost. So that is 10, the variable cost, plus 300,000 divided by 50,000, that is the fixed cost divided by the unit sales. And we understand that there is a $16 cost for the unit. And let's suppose now that the manufacturer wants to add and make a 20% profit on the product. The way we calculate it is the unit cost divided by 1 minus 0.2, that is 100% minus the 20%. So it is 16 divided by 0.8, which is 20%, so that is $20. So this means that a company first calculates the cost it has to produce any number of products. This company knows that for 50,000 basketballs, they have costs of $310,000. So it's 300 in fixed and 10,000 in variables, and that is $16 per unit. That is the cost. When it wants to make 20% profit, well, they have to sell it at $20. Going on, we look at the break-even pricing strategy. The break-even analysis or the break-even pricing strategy is one example of what we call cost-based pricing strategy. That is the major pricing strategy. Well, you need to learn that the cost of the production are the needed amounts that the company needs to pay for. So in other terms, to break even, the company needs to be on zero. It needs to sell as many units it needs in order to cover their cost for production. The break-even pricing means setting price to break even on the cost of the making and marketing a product, or setting price to make a target return. The company tries to determine the price at which it will break even or make the target return it is seeking. In order to understand it better, let's take an example of a company who wants to produce and sell basketballs. Fixed costs are $300,000, regarding of the sales volumes. Variable costs are $10. The company wants to sell the product at $20 per unit, so the formula is as follows. Break-even volume is the fixed cost divided by price minus the variable cost. So that is 300,000, the fixed cost, which is divided by the price, so 20 minus 10, which is 30,000 units. So it means that if the company wants to break even, it has to sell 30,000 units at the price of $20 each. Going on, the last strategy that you need to know about is competition-based pricing. The competition-based pricing is setting prices based on competitor strategies, prices, costs, and the market offerings. Consumers will base their judgments of a product's value on the prices that competitors charge for similar products. And there are several questions that a company needs to ask itself, and we will detail each one of them. How does the company market offering compare with the competitors' offerings in terms of customer value? If consumers perceive that the company's product provides greater value, the company can charge a higher price. If the consumers perceive less value relative to competing products, the company must charge a lower price. How strong are current competitors and what are their current pricing strategies? The company needs to know if the market is dominated by small competitors charging high prices, or if there is a strong competitors who charges lower prices. And finally, what principles should guide decisions about what price to charge? The company must always be certain to give customers superior value for the price it asks. This is everything that you need to know about Chapter 10 from Principles of Marketing. This is everything you need to know about the 3 major pricing strategies about the value-based pricing, about the cost-based pricing, about the competitor pricing. If you want to learn more about marketing and see other chapter reviews, click on the link right here in the playlist or check the videos down in the description below. Și ending-ul general. If this video helped you, you may want to watch it for one more second. In the links down below in the description, you will find a four free marketing dictionaries. So that is a file with all the marketing terms you need to know. There are over 400 marketing terms that you have a definition for, and you can get it for free. Also, if you are a marketeer, if you own your very first company, if you are an entrepreneur, in the links down in the description you will find a manual for building your own personalized business plan, corporate communication strategy and marketing strategy. Because you don't want only to have the business plan, you want to have the marketing and the communication strategies ready. And in this manual you will find all the steps by the book that you need to know and that you need to follow in order to make and create your own business plan that is personalized for any type of business you may want to have. Also, you can go down in the description and find the Buy Me a Coffee link. You can buy me a coffee to thank me for these videos. I drink quite a lot of coffee for creating these videos, when researching the information, filming the videos and editing them, so you can watch them for free on YouTube. Of course, that there are also the classical ways to like the video, to comment in the comment section, and please do that. It helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. You know how it is: like, subscribe, comment, all that, and I will see you at the next video.